Okay, good morning once again one and all. So in this today's particular lecture, we will understand how to solve the problems of vibration measuring instrument. So in the last lecture, we have understand the theory and concept of vibration measuring instrument, where we have derived a formula or for a ratio z upon y is equal to r square upon 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r square, which is also called as a ratio of recorded motion upon exciting motion, or it is a ratio of recorded value or measured value upon true value. This z upon y is equal to r square upon 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r square is a basic equation of seismometer, where y is nothing but the amplitude of vibrating body and z is the relative amplitude of mass with respect to the frame or steady state relative amplitude. Now, vibrometer is a device which measures the displacement, that is the output coming from the output generated from the vibrometer will be in the form of the displacement of amplitude. So the formula will be same as that of the seismometer, that is z upon y is equal to r square upon square root of 1 minus r square plus 2 zeta bracket square. For velocity pickup, this formula will get modified from, so this r is nothing but omega by omega n. So velocity is nothing but, let us say velocity is given by y into omega, right? So this one ratio, that is omega by omega, will be multiplied by the z upon y. So this will become a velocity. So here remaining is nothing but the r. Similarly, for acceleration, we know that acceleration y double dot is equal to y into omega square. So in this case, the r square will get completely multiplied by z upon y. So here remaining will be only 1. So this is how this formula gets modified. Now let us solve the problem number 1. As given in the problem number 1, a seismic instrument is used to find the displacement, velocity and acceleration of a machine running at 250 rpm. So they have given you a basic seismometer which is used to measure the displacement, velocity and acceleration of a machine running at 250 rpm. So from this I am getting n is equal to 250 rpm. We can easily calculate omega 2 pi n by 60. After calculation I am getting omega as 26.17 radian per second. They have also given you the excitation frequency. The natural frequency of instrument is 5 Hz, right? So this omega is nothing but the excitation frequency, and the natural frequency they have given us pi fn is equal to 5 Hz. From this easily you can find out omega, that is the natural frequency in radian per second, that is equal to 2 pi fn. So omega is equal to 2 pi fn means what? Multiply by 2 pi into 5. 5 to the 10, that is 10 pi. So that becomes 31.41 radian per seconds. Okay. So now once you got this, you can easily find out r, that is the frequency which is equal to omega upon omega n. So omega n is 31.41 and omega is 26.17. So I am getting r is equal to 0.833. So now they have also given, if the natural frequency of the instrument is 5 Hz and it records the displacement 5 mm. So they have given the recorded displacement. Now what do you mean by the recorded displacement? This is what? Z. Now I have already explained that Z by Y is the ratio of recorded motion upon exciting motion, or it's a recorded value upon measured value, recorded or measured value upon true value, right? So they have given you the recorded value. Recorded value is equal to Z, which they have given, that is they have given a displacement. Z is nothing but in terms of displacement, the value is recorded in terms of displacement. So Z is given as 5 mm, and they are saying that no damping means theta is equal to 0. Assuming no damping. Okay. So let us write down the ratio of recorded motion upon exciting motion, which is equal to Z upon Y is equal to r square upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. Now zeta is equal to 0. So this formula gets modified as r square upon 1 minus r square. Now z they have given is, I will write it into the mm only. So 5 mm divided by y. Okay. So y they have given 5 upon y. Sorry, y we have to calculate. So r is nothing but the 0.833 bracket square divided by 1 minus 0.833 bracket square. From this I will get y, which is nothing but a displacement of a vibrating machine. So I'm getting y, which is also called as amplitude or displacement, 1.8352 mm. So what is this? This is nothing but a displacement, or you can also call it as an amplitude of a vibrating body or machine. Okay. Now you can easily compute the acceleration and the velocity. So what is velocity? Velocity of a vibrating machine y is equal to omega into y. So that becomes 48.02 mm per second, because y have considered mm 1.8352 and omega is radian per second, which is 26.70. And similarly, acceleration of a vibrating machine is given by y double dot is equal to omega square into y. So that is equal to 26.17 bracket square multiplied by y is 1.8352. So I am getting it 1256 point, after calculation, 87 mm per second square. So this is my first answer, displacement, y dot and y double dot, velocity and acceleration. So this is how you can compute the velocity of a vibrating machine, acceleration of a vibrating machine from the displacement of a vibrating machine from the basic equation. Now we will solve the next problem. A commercial vibration type pickup means what? It is nothing but a vibrometer. Vibrometer is also called as a vibration pickup. Okay. So for vibrometer, again we will use the same formula as we use in problem number 1, that is the seismometer formula. So first of all, let us understand what is given in this problem. So they have given Fn 5.75 Hertz. This is point. So from this you can easily calculate omega n, which is equal to 2 pi Fn, right? So 2 pi Fn is nothing but 2 into pi, 2 shift pi multiplied by 5.75. So we are getting answers 36.1283 radian per seconds. Okay. And the damping factor they have given is zeta is equal to 0.65. What is the lowest frequency beyond which the amplitude can be measured within 2% error? So they have asked you to calculate the frequency. Means what you have to calculate f, that is nothing but the excitation frequency in hertz. So you have to calculate the excitation frequency in hertz such that the amplitude can be measured within the 2% error. This means that the ratio of a recorded motion upon exciting motion, or the ratio of steady state relative amplitude to the amplitude of a vibrating body phi, is equal to plus minus 2%. Plus minus 2% means what? We know that the z upon y is equal to 1 at a corresponding value of zeta. So we are not going to get a 100% value, but there will be some error, because this is a practical instrument, and when you are measuring the vibration from the practical instrument, you will get some error. So that error should be within the plus minus 2% range. Means what? It should be equal to either 1.02 or 0.98. This error can be either plus 2% or can be either minus 2%. Okay. So now, what is the formula we have of z upon y? So z upon y is equal to r square upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r square. Now they have given you the ratio z upon y as 1.02 or 1.9. So you have to select either 1.02 or either 0.92. So how to select? For that we have to use the frequency response curve of a vibration measuring instrument. Okay, and zeta is given. So from this you will calculate the value of r, which is equal to omega upon omega n, and from this we know what is omega n. If we get what is r, I can easily calculate omega, and from omega I can easily compute f, that is the frequency beyond which the amplitude can be measured within 2% error. So first of all, let us understand this graph. Now, if you look into this graph, the given value of the zeta is 0.65. Now we know that zeta is equal to 0.65 means what? It is close to this value 0.7. Now this curve which indicates zeta is equal to 0.7, you can see curve which indicates zeta is equal to 0.7. This is below this line 1. Below the line 1 means what? The line where the ratio z by y is equal to 1, means the steady state relative amplitude is equal to the amplitude of a vibrating body. Now this value is 1 at a, and this when the value of zeta is 0.7, okay, this curve is below this line 1. So if this curve is below the line 1 means what? If the value of zeta is 0.65, which is given in your particular problem, this the curve will be will be also closer to this zeta is equal to 0.75. So this curve which indicates zeta is equal to 0.65, it will be also below this line z by y is equal to 1. Means what? From this curve or from the response curve of vibration measuring instrument, we can see that the curve for zeta is equal to 0.5. The curve which is shown by me with this red line, the curve for zeta is equal to 0.65 does not go beyond 0 by y, does not go beyond 0 by y is equal to 1. Means what? This curve which represents zeta is equal to 0.65 does not crosses this line z by y is equal to 1. So means what? The z by y cannot be equal to 1.02 because when your zeta is equal to 0.65, that curve does not crosses this one line, that is z by y is equal to 1 line. So obviously it is below the 1. Means what? The z by y can be equal to 0.98. So you have to select z by y is equal to 0.98 because for this particular value of zeta is equal to 0.65, you can see that the curve will not cross this line 1. This line 1. So means what? Your z by y cannot be greater than 1. It is obviously z by y will be less than 1. So what is that z by y? It is 0.98. I hope you have understand this. Okay. So this curve, that is zeta is equal to 0.7. This is also below this line 1. But it is very closer towards the 1. It is that z by y is not equal to 1 and zeta is equal to 0.7. But it is closer to 1. So we will consider it as a 0.98. So I hope you have understand this. So considering from the graph, so how to write this statement? First of all, we understand how to write this statement. So we write here from response curve of vibration. This is obviously response curve, response curve of vibration measuring instrument. Response curve of vibration measuring instrument system or instrument. Instrument is a proper word. Vibration measuring instrument. The curve for which value? For zeta is equal to 0.65 does not cross, or we can also write does not go beyond z by y is equal to 1, right? Means it will not cross the z by y is equal to 1. Therefore select z by y, the ratio of amplitude is equal to 0.98. okay, so once you select this, now we can easily calculate what is the formula. Z by y is equal to 0.98 is equal to square root of r square upon 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 into zeta. What is zeta? 0.65 into r bracket square. Okay. Now squaring on both sides. Now it is very simple. Either you put into the calci or you use squaring on both sides. So the square root will get removed. This 0.98 will become 0.98 square. R square will become r is to 4, and you will get a one equation after doing a cross multiplication. So that equation is 0.04 r is to 4 plus 0.31 r is to square minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so after solving this, you are getting the two values of r. One is the positive value and one is a negative value. So we will consider the positive value of r. So I am getting r is equal to 1.56. Right? So now we know that what is r? R is nothing but a ratio of f upon fn is equal to omega upon omega n is equal to 1.56. Now what is f? What is fn? 5.75. So from this I will get f, that is the frequency which they have asked, so that error will not go beyond 2%, is that frequency f is equal to fn into 1.56. So from this I am getting f is equal to, right here, so I am getting this f is equal to, what is fn? Fn is equal to 5.75 hertz. I am getting f is equal to 9.00 hertz. So the final answer is the frequency beyond which the amplitude can be measured within 2% error is 9.00 hertz. So I hope you have understand from the graph. I have selected 0.98 based on the value of zeta. Okay. Now let's move on to the problem number 3. A spring mass damper system having a undamped natural frequency. So they are saying it's an undamped natural frequency of 100 Hz. So undamped natural frequency means what? It is obviously FM. Frequency of free vibration 100 Hz. So omega n is equal to 2 pi FM. So omega n is equal to, calculate, 628.31 radian per second. Okay, so now we have got this, and the damping constant C. Damping constant is C, 20 Newton. From the unit we will understand that Newton seconds per meter means what they have given the C. Now is used as an accelerometer. Right now they have, which instrument they have used? Accelerometer. So they have directly given to measure the vibration of a machine operating at a speed n is equal to 3000 rpm. So from this I will easily get omega, that is the excitation frequency, 2 pi n by 60. So once you get omega n, you can easily find out the R. So what is omega n? 314.15 radian per second. Now if the actual acceleration is 10 meter per second square and the recorded acceleration is 9 meter second. Now already I have explained you guys that this ratio, or the ratio of amplitude z upon y, is equal to recorded acceleration. What is that? It is also called as recorded motion. Now instead of recorded motion, what I will have, we are not measuring the displacement or velocity. So instead of recorded motion or recorded velocity, you can write a recorded acceleration upon actual acceleration. So this ratio they have given you already, actual acceleration. So this is equal to, what is the recorded acceleration? 9. So they have given the ratio of z upon y is equal to 9 upon 10. So 9 upon 10 means what? 9 divided by 10 means what? It's 0.9. So the ratio of z by y is nothing but the point. So in the earlier problem they have given you the ratio z upon y is equal to 1.02 or 0.98. So we have selected 0.98 depending the value of zeta. So here they have directly given that the z by y is 0.9. So means what? It is not crossing the line of 1, that is z by y is equal to 1 again. So obviously value of zeta will be close to that 0.7. Okay, so that value we will calculate now. So this data is given for this particular problem. Now let us start solving the further. So now you can easily find out first of all R. R is equal to omega by omega n. So I am getting R as omega is 314.15 calculated only. Omega n is 6628 and omega is 314. So I am getting it 0.499. This I am getting R. Now, what is the basic formula? Sure. Write down the basic formula. So we are getting z upon y is equal to r square upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square is 2 zeta r bracket square. So this ratio is 0.9 already given. Recorded acceleration upon actual acceleration 9 upon 10. So 0.9 is equal to r square is nothing but 0.499 bracket square divided by square root of 1 minus 0.499 bracket square plus bracket complete is 2 into zeta into 0.499. So you can put this into the calci and you can solve for the unknown, that is zeta. From this you are getting zeta is equal to, now you can see if my answer is correct or not from the graph, 0.8190. okay, 0.8190. If I am going back to the graph, you can see that when your zeta is equal to 0.7, this z by y is almost close to the 1. Means what? Let us say z by y is equal to 0.98 and the value of zeta is equal to 0.65, 0.7. So now my corresponding value of z upon y is equal to 0.9. So obviously the value of value of zeta will be greater than 0.7. Na? So it is somewhere 0.8. So again that graph is slightly below the z by 1. Okay. So this is how this is related with the frequency response curve. I hope you understand this. Okay. So now once I calculate the zeta, they've asked you to find out the mass and the spin constant of the accelerometer. So what is the, you know that the accelerometer is a high frequency transducer. So high frequency transducer means what? Obviously its mass will be low. We know that omega n is equal to square root of k upon m. See, I am trying to relate the theory with the problem. Omega n will be low, will be high when your k will be high and m will be very less. So that is why this accelerometer is called as a high frequency transducer. So you're getting a very high frequency. Okay. So already omega n is been calculated. I have to calculate k and m. So first of all, let us find out c. So you know that zeta is equal to c upon cc, right? Zeta is equal to c upon ct. So c upon what is cc? 2m omega n. So what is zeta? 0.819 we have calculated. C is nothing but a 22 into m constant, and what is omega n? 628.31. So from this you are getting a mass which would be very less practically. So 0.01. Yeah. The mass of an accelerometer is very less. That is 0.0194 kg. And once you got this, omega n square is equal to k upon n. So from this I am getting k. M is what? 0.0194. Omega n is 628.31. So I am getting k at 76 pi 8.6 Newton per meter. So I hope you have understood how to solve the problems on vibrometer. Okay, so now we will solve next problem, that is problem number 4. Let us understand what is the given data. A seismic instrument is to find the displacement, velocity and excitation of a machine running at 1000 rpm. So n is given as 1000 rpm. If the natural frequency of the instrument is 20 radian per second, so omega n is given as 20 radian per second. So n is 1000 rpm. So omega, that is the excitation frequency, is 2 pi by 60. So that becomes 104.71 radian per second. And it records the relative amplitude of 0.5 mm. So recorded motion or the relative amplitude is nothing but z is equal to 0.5 mm. Compute the displacement, velocity, that is you have to calculate y dot and y double dot of a vibrating machine assuming no damping. So zeta is equal to 0. Now we know that z upon y is equal to r square upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta bracket square. This is the basic equation of a vibrometer or a seismometer, okay? Displacement measuring device. Now when zeta is equal to 0, this formula gets modified as z upon y is equal to 1 upon 1 minus r square, right? But first of all, let us find out what is r. R is equal to omega by omega n, right? So what is that r? Therefore r is equal to omega by omega n, where omega is equal to 104.71, which is greater than omega n in this case. So this is different from the problem number 1 in regarding this case. So r we are getting greater than 1, 5.24. So now this is 1 minus r square, that is 1 minus 5.24. You will get a negative displacement here. Okay, so we'll just modify this formula, or you can write this formula as, you'll get one and the same answer, 1 upon r square minus 1. So from this I am getting, we know that z is equal to 0.5 mm divided y as it is 1 upon, sorry, here it's not 1, it is r square, it is also r square. So what is r square? 5.24 bracket square divided by 5.24 bracket square minus 1. So from this calculation I am getting y as, that is displacement of a vibrating machine. We are getting 0.4817. What I am getting answer? I am getting answer as y is equal to 0. One second. Displacement of a vibrating machine y is equal to, after 0.4817 mm. Now the value, you can easily calculate the velocity, that is y dot is equal to omega into y. What is omega? 104.71 into what is y? 0.4817. I am getting this answer as 50.44. Velocities unit is mm per second. And similarly, let us calculate y double dot. What is y double dot? Omega square into y is equal to 104.71 bracket square into zero point 0.5 into 0.4817. So I am getting acceleration for this problem y double dot is equal to 6281.44 mm per second square. So this is how, when the value of r is greater than 1, you can just modify the formula and solve and compute the acceleration, velocity and displacement. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now let us move on to the problem number 5. The exometer is constructed by suspending the mass of 0.1 kg. Now they have given an exometer having a mass m is equal to 0.1 kg and stiffness k is equal to 10,000 Newton per meter. Let us immediately find out omega n, which is equal to square root of k upon m, which is equal to 10,000 upon 0.1 bracket square, square root under square root 316.22 radian per second. Okay. Now they have given n also at an engine speed of 1000 rpm. So first of all calculate Nm. So from this I am getting an excitation frequency 2 pi by 60 omega, again same 104.71 radian per second. Determine again the maximum displacement y, maximum velocity and maximum acceleration, and they haven't given you the damping condition, so assume damping condition is 0. Now it is very important to understand that this is a problem of an exometer, and in the last problem they have given you the recorded acceleration and the actual acceleration. But see, even if this is an exometer, you can also measure the displacement from it as well as the velocity from it, but they haven't given you the recorded as well as the true or the actual acceleration, but they have given you the condition. When mounted on the foundation of engine, the peak to peak travel of a mass of an exometer has been to be 110 mm at an engine speed of. Means what they have given you, the peak to peak travel means what they have given you the z, that is nothing but the relative amplitude, which is equal to 10 mm. So they have given you the amplitude in terms of mm or the displacement. They haven't given you the acceleration, so you have to use the formula of displacement only. That is the basic seismometer formula. You will be not using the modified formula. So what is the basic formula? Z upon y is equal to r square upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta bracket square. But again, we know that zeta is equal to 0, right? So again I am getting z upon y is equal to r square upon 1 minus r square. Therefore, let us first of all calculate r, which is equal to omega by omega n. Okay. Now what is r? Omega? Omega is 104.71 divided by, what is omega n? 316.22. So this ratio I am getting as 0.331. So I am getting this ratio 0.33. So it is less than 1. So what is z? There is nothing but a 10 divided by y is equal to 0.33 bracket square divided by 1 minus 0.33 bracket square, and from this I am getting y, that is the displacement of a vibrating machine, as 89.03 mm. Okay. So this is also slightly important problem, because here they have given you the z, and that is why we have used the basic formula of seismometer, not the modified formula of an exometer as used in the last problem. Okay. So now once you got this, you can easily calculate y dot, which is equal to omega into y. So that is equal to 9.32 into 10 raised to 3 mm per second. And you can also compute acceleration. Just write there, acceleration of a vibrating machine is y double dot is equal to y omega square into y. So this I am getting 976.14 into 10 raised to 3 mm per second square. This is how we have to solve the problem. Now let us again solve one more problem on the exometer. Problem number 6. So an exometer with a mass 0.01 kg. Okay. And a damping ratio 0.07 is to be designed. Now exactly they have given the value of 7.0. Now try to understand that at the value of zeta is equal to 0.707, your curve is not going beyond the z by y is equal to 1. Okay, but it is very close towards the 1. Right? So that already we have understand from the graph. What should be under natural frequency of the system so that measurement error exceeds 2%? Okay, so measurement error exceeds 2%. The vibration signal which is to be measured can have a frequency as high as 2000 Hz. So maximum frequency they are saying that it should be as high as 2000 Hz. Right? Now first of all, this is an exometer. So let us write down the formula for exometer. We know that Z upon Y is equal to omega by omega square upon omega n square is equal to 1 upon 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. This is the basic formula of modifiers. Actual formula Z upon Y is equal to r square upon 1 minus r square plus 2 zeta. The actual formula of seismometer. But for exometer, this when this displacement will become acceleration when you multiply this z with omega square. So when you multiply this ratio z upon y with omega square upon omega n square, the remaining will be only 1. So this is the modified formula for the exometer. Now they are saying that what should be the under natural frequency of the system so that measurement error never exceeds 2%, means what? Here they have given a ratio for the exometer, that is z upon y upon omega by omega n bracket square. It should not exceed plus minus 2%, means what? It should be 1.02 or 0.98. In last case they have given you the ratio of displacement, here they have given you the acceleration. So z upon y omega by omega n square should be equal to 1.0 to 0.98, right? Now in the graph, from the graph we have understand that for value of zeta is equal to 0.7, so zeta is equal to 0.07. This is such a value of zeta where the curve does not cross the line of z by, does not go beyond the z by y is equal to 1. So we will select z by y upon omega by omega n bracket square is equal to 0.98. How have we selected this? From the frequency response curve. I have already explained in the last previous example how to select this value 0.98 from that curve. Okay. So again, for zeta is equal to 0.707, z by y will not cross 1. So instead of taking 1.2, I will take 0.98. Okay. So now 0.98 is equal to 1 upon square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta bracket square. Okay. So you can take a square root on both sides, right? Or you can write like this also, 0.98 is equal to 1 upon 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta. What is zeta? 0.07 into r bracket square, and this you can write it as a 1 by 2 also, or you can square on both the sides. Okay, and then cross multiply and solve this equation. So solving this equation, what you are getting, after solving the equation, what you are getting, so 0.98 bracket square. So I can write this like this as a 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2r square is equal to 1 upon 0.98 square, right? So this 1 by 2 I can take here, and this denominator term will go to the numerator, and so 0.98 will become 1 upon 0.98 bracket square, so which is equal to 1.041. Okay, so now I'm getting the equation 1 minus 2r square. See how I have solved the equation. R is to 4 plus this 1 by 2, when I will take here, it will become 1 upon 0.98 bracket square, and 1 minus r square will go, the denominator will go at the numerator place. So So 1 minus 2r square plus r raised to 4 plus 2r square is equal to 1.041. So now solve this. After solving, I am getting r is equal to 0.45. I am getting r is equal to 0.45. Right? Now we know that r 0.45 is equal to omega upon omega n. Okay. Now they have given that in the problem, the vibration signal which we measure can have a frequency as high as over 2000 Hz. Means they have given that this maximum excitation frequency should be 2000 Hz. So they have given you as a f, right? So from this, what I will get? From this, I will get. So this can be written as f upon fn. So I will get fn is equal to f upon r, that is equal to 200 divided by 0.45. So from this I am getting a natural frequency fn is equal to 444.44 Hertz. Right? Now once you got f, you know that f is equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root of k by m. Right? So 444.44 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root of k divided by what is mass m, 0.01. From this we are getting k is equal to 77.98 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so as per the problem, what should be the undamped natural frequency of the system so that the measurement error never exceeds 2% error. So what is that undamped natural frequency? That undamped natural frequency fn is nothing but a 4.4 Hz. Okay, and the corresponding parameters for the exometer are nothing but k is equal to 77.98 kN per meter and mass already has been given. So this is how you can solve the problems on exometer. Okay. So this is a graph which I have already explained that for this corresponding problem zeta was equal to 0.7. So this is a curve. Now this curve does not go beyond this line. Which line I am talking? I am talking this line. It is a straight line, that is a line which indicates, what does this line indicate? Z upon y is equal to 1. So this curve does not go beyond this line. So that is why we have selected Z upon y for, since it is an exometer, so omega square upon omega square is equal to 0.98 I have selected. So if it was 0.5, zeta was equal to 0.5. So what would I have selected? I have gone for the 1.0. Okay, so try to understand this. Now we will solve one more problem. That is the problem number 7. A spring mass system having static deflection 10 mm. So they have given a static deflection delta st is equal to 10 mm and a negligible damping is used as a vibrometer. So they are saying that it is a negligible damping. Okay. So again negligible damping means what? Again zeta is equal to 0 for this condition. Negligible damping means what? Zeta is equal to 0. Because negligible damping is also considered as an undamped condition. When mounted on the machine operating at n is equal to 4000 rpm. So omega is equal to 2 pi by 60. 418.1888 radian per second. The relative amplitude recorded. Directly they have given Z. Relative amplitude recorded Z is equal to 1 mm. Find the maximum values of displacement, velocity and acceleration. Again same. So first of all let us find omega n. What is omega n? Square root of g upon del st. So this is another formula if del st is given. Okay. So 9.81 upon 10 into 10 raised to minus 3. I will take it in the meters, then you will get omega n into radian per second. So omega n I am getting as 31.3209 radian per seconds. Now once you got this, let us find out r is equal to omega by omega n, which is equal to 418.88 divided by 31.3209. So r I am getting as 13.3738. Again, it is greater than R. Okay. So now we know that the steady state relative amplitude Z upon Y is equal to, when zeta is equal to 0. Now I will directly write 1 minus R square. Zeta is equal to 0, but we know that this R is again greater than 1. So I will modify this formula. Z upon Y is equal to R square upon R square minus 1. So this is the modified formula which I am using. Otherwise I will get an answer in negatives. So 1 is equal to, Z is given as 1. Y it is as it is. What is R? R is equal to 13.3738 bracket square divided by same 13.3738 bracket square minus 1. From this I am getting Y, that is the displacement of a vibrating machine at 0.9944 mm. So what is Y dot? Omega into Y, that is a maximum velocity. So this is nothing, they have asked you to find out the maximum values of displacement, velocity and acceleration. So this Y is nothing but a maximum displacement, Y dot is nothing but a maximum velocity, which is equal to, what is omega? 418.88. So multiply with this mm, you are getting answer in mm per second. So 416.5473 mm per seconds. Okay. Now maximum acceleration is nothing but the y double dot is equal to omega square into y. So this I am getting as 174483.35 mm per second square. So omega is nothing but, what is omega? 418.88. Okay, this is omega. You have to multiply by omega, and once multiply by omega square, you will get a